And just a little PSA and reminder, I've also set up an email just for this channel if you just need someone to talk to. I will get back to you as soon as possible. All I ask in return is that you be respectful and patient with me. Anyone that emails me, feel free to email me if you need a friend or someone to talk to. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. I am letting go of the perfectionist in me and re-recording videos because I can't sit still because I'm nervous and I'm fidgeting. But I mean, this is a brand new role. It's a brand new me, a brand new role. Like I've had a lot of growth. If you've watched my old videos up until now, and I will be posting more, I was struggling there. I was getting there. I wasn't ready yet, but I was getting myself prepared, and now I am ready. I am camera shy, but I will still keep posting videos because it is part of my spiritual work. It is part of my personal growth to get comfortable speaking and using my voice and having it be heard by one, by 10, by many, by millions. Whoever this video finds, it will find at the right time. And I'm here to help. So please email me if you need anything, or if there's a topic you'd like me to cover, you have a question, anything that I can help you with. I'm not a therapist, but I am a listening ear. I'm not going to tell you to take certain medications or anything else like that. I'm not a doctor. I'm just here to help you, lead you, guide you. As a former addict myself, I'm sitting on almost 6 months clean and sober, and I am so excited. All it took was me basically burning down my old life. Like the rising phoenix I am right now, I had to burn it all down. I had to burn it all down. I quit my job unexpectedly, came down here to help my mom, and I ended up staying. Sold my house, and in that process, I was getting sober. And when I first came down here, I moved down here January 23rd of 2025 this year. And the first few months were the biggest struggle. I was struggling to accept the fact that I quit my job. I sold my house, and I had that momentum going in my old videos, and I was so excited. But a lot of it, I was excited, but a lot of it was forced excitement because I wanted myself to be happy for these changes, although I was scared to death. I did not know what to accept. And then I started leaning into like my little delusional dreams, like, all right, well, I'm going to give up all this stuff and life's going to be so great, and I'm just going to make all these friends and, make all this money, and life's going to be awesome, and I'm never going to have to, worry about any of the old problems before. And boy, was I wrong. Did I have to get humbled again there? And I get humbled from time to time too, but I'm starting to humble myself before God humbles me himself. So, there's that. But those 2 months of trying to stay sober in a brand new place, adjusting to a brand new life where nobody except for your family and my family here in Phoenix, Glendale is where we live, but are my mom and my brother. My other brother lives in Tucson. I knew nobody. So it's like I didn't really feel like I had anybody to relate to. I could have gone to AA. I went to a few AA classes the first time I tried to get sober back in, what was it? November 28th of 2023. And I lasted just over 100 days before I started drinking again. And it wasn't as bad as the first time because I was drinking like it was my job after my full-time job. Blackout drunk every day. I don't know how I made it. Barely eating. I was a functioning alcoholic, but the only difference was for me, not saying that I was not an alcoholic and putting shame to other people that struggle with that addiction, because it will kick your ass. It steals your life. It steals your joy. But I didn't drink at work while I was working, while I was on the clock. But as soon as I clocked out, I was traveling through that airport, visiting all my bartender friends, having a drink there. And if I got off too late, I went to my local bar, and I used to get wasted with all those people there, who some were my friends and some I thought were friends. But I mean, like they say, misery loves company. We're all there for a reason, and it wasn't just to socialize. We were all getting drunk. But I think a lot of people were starting to have their awakenings with a lot of the crashes that they had, DUIs, and just other random things that were happening. And I have to say that I am very blessed that I did not have any accidents when I made the dumb and stupid choice of drunk driving when I knew I should have been driving home. But that's for another story. But I have repaid a lot of my karma for that. And that's why I'm here helping you and talking to you. And I feel like this is also part of my karma too, is to help others through that darkness and that and see the light. I mean, because that addiction is just, woo. All I have to say is that I am glad that I did not get addicted to drugs at the same time. Because even to this day, I still struggle with wanting to have a drink. But it's not as bad. Like lately it's been, I just miss the old me where I would sit and read a book and have a glass of wine and just be vibing in my own company. But I know that I will have a tendency to lose control. So I choose not to. And the first couple of months without drinking, like they tell you in AA, is always to have like a piece of hard candy or something in your pocket or in your purse with you, because you're going to be struggling with that craving. You're going to be struggling with that craving, really. And I didn't do that because I was like, the first time I didn't need that. I was fine. Ooh, boy, was I wrong. Every time I turned around, I had some form of sweet. I had gummy bears, cupcakes, cookies, chocolate, like, and it was crazy because like I didn't think it would be that bad, like have a couple of gummy bears and I'd be fine. No, I was driving one day and I was sitting at a light and I decided to open up the bag of gummy bears that I just bought, and I had two in my hand and I shoved them in my mouth, and the next thing I know I'm like, I go shoving them in my mouth like the damn Cookie Monster, and I was like, this is out of control. And it's taken me a couple of months to break that habit of just always having sweets, which is a whole nother addiction. Because I went from being an alcoholic, a gluttonous alcoholic, to being a sober glutton. And candy and sweets and junk food were my friends. And it was, I guess, I can't say that I wasn't depressed, but I was going through a form of depression. I was mourning the old life that I had. I still had one foot in my old life in that door, and I had one foot in my new life in this door, and I was mourning everything that I felt that I gave up for this at that time. And this, I mean, like, when I came down here, I was struggling with the fact that I wasn't just going to be able to like move down here and then like find a job and get a place and do all these things that I had in my mind that would work out easily and immediately. And I was struggling with the fact that I couldn't find a job. And I remember cussing out the universe again, from time to time, because we're all going to do that. And they're used to it. They're ready for it. But as long as you bring yourself back to who you need to be and who you truly are, you'll be forgiven. Apologize. But I remember saying, I burned down my old life for new opportunities, and I'm in the land of opportunities, but I can't find anything that's for me. And it's like, I didn't realize that once you do that, it's time for you to rest, because that is like the biggest move that you're going to make, is choosing yourself. It's the biggest choice and the biggest move that you're going to make, and you can't just jump from one life to another and hit the ground running. Like, you need to rest, recuperate. And I've never been that kind of a person since probably like 18, 19. I've always been on the go. And especially since I like graduated high school, I used to work 2 jobs up until I was 28. And I think I finally quit working 2 jobs for good when I was 32. And after that, I was like, why the hell am I working this hard? And then I started partying even harder. But that's a whole nother story for another day. But I'm just glad to be here. I just realized, a few weeks ago that I am genuinely happy. Like, I'm happy. I go outside and I enjoy the sunshine and the birds, and I go sit at the park and I hang out with the peacocks, and there's a lot of stray cats around here, and I've made friends with the cats. I'm the crazy cat lady, I guess you can call me. Hang out with my dogs, hang out with my mom, hang out with my brother. I've met a few people here, but I don't really have friends, I would say. Which actually I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. In Colorado, I had a ton of people. I knew a lot of people, and I had friends, but I still felt alone. I don't feel alone now. And nobody on this journey should feel alone. Ever. Because you're not. There's always somebody out there that can relate to you and your story. All you got to do is reach out. And I can't say that I did this alone, because when I first started this journey, the minute I decided that I was going to stop drinking, I had never heard about twin flames and spiritual journeys and awakenings or anything else like that. But the minute that I decided that I was going to stop drinking, all over my Facebook, all over Instagram, it was talking about divine feminines and divine masculines and awakening and twin flame this and twin flame that. I'm like, what the hell are twin flames? And then all of a sudden comes all these random advertisements for tarot videos, and I never believed in that stuff. I thought it was hooey-dooey. Like, what the fuck? But excuse my language. Sometimes I curse like a sailor, and sometimes I don't. I'm working on it. We're always improving here. Sometimes the words come out. I can't help it. Sometimes I speak before I think. Still working on that too. But tarot. And these videos, I mean, I tell you, the way that they get you sometimes, if you're ignoring any other sign that God is trying to talk to you and get you back, because it's time for you to change your ways, they're going to find a way. I had people walking up to me that would be like, God told me that you need to hear this. And it would be something that was very specific to a thought that I had that day. And I would be so uncomfortable and so mad, because I was just so mad at God for everything. For the way I grew up, my childhood, the things that happened to me, losing people, like death, and just all kinds of things. And I went from being, I wouldn't say that I was a religious kid. Like, we went to church. My mom brought us to church a lot until we were able to make our own choices. But, like, I always believed in, like, karma and doing right by others. And I've never been a selfish person, but I have had selfish moments and tendencies. But, yeah. It was just a crazy time. So, like, ignoring those signs and ignoring, like, just random things on billboards or books or magazines, like words that would stand out to me, I would just ignore and be like, yeah. But then the tarot videos started showing up, and they described the situation fresh out of a breakup. They described the whole situation in this little ad that I was going through, my feelings, their initials, and everything like that. And again, I'm like, this is a bunch of hooey-dooey. Like, why the fuck do you know this? Well, one day I finally decided to let my skeptical side see what it's about. And I paid for a reading, and this lady was spot on about a lot of things on there. Now, I'm not going to say that they can get everything right, because, again, they're only human. We're only human. So, I mean, like, you're not always going to get everything right. But as an energy reader and an energy healer, you pick up on certain things that are important for people to know and to focus on. And, like, yesterday, I was struggling with forgiveness. So I was pulling my cards, of course. And not everybody's going to believe in that stuff, and that's fine. And that's why I don't want to just be a card reader. Like, I do have cards of all kinds. I have self-healing cards, like suggestions for what you should do. Meditate. They're not just tarot cards and, like, fortune telling. I use them for good. I don't use them to spy on people. I don't use them to, like, find out somebody else's business. I may ask a question, like, what's their energy towards me, so I can get an understanding. But I'm not like, what's Don Q Jacobs doing on Thursday the 18th? Is he going to win the lottery? Like, that's not your business. Mind your own business. And you will, if you're trying to find out something that's not meant for you to know, you will be reminded to mind your business. And I find that happening a lot, and I have to correct myself too, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, driving down the street and you see someone pulled over and be like, oh, that sucks. And I'm just like, you know what? I hope everybody makes it home safely. And I say, mind your business, Alice, because it doesn't concern you. It ain't your business. And I tell everybody else that too if they're asking too many invasive questions. I either don't answer the question because it's none of your business and I don't owe you an explanation, which is part of my people pleasing, and I'm proud of myself for starting to recognize that, because I over explain everything. And a lot of the choices that I make and the decisions that I go with aren't for you to understand. And they're not for anybody else to understand. You do what's right for you, and you don't have to explain that to anybody else. They can pry and ask you why you do this because they want to understand, but it's not for them to understand. It's for you to understand. They need to worry about their business. Mind your business. But let's get back to tarot videos because I'm getting distracted here. Let's not get back to tarot videos because I think I said what I needed to say. I'm hearing a bunch of songs right now. A lot of them are not appropriate. The one song I keep hearing the most is Ludacris's "Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way." Like, it's time for a new army. It's time for a new army. So that fight has begun, and a lot of us are being awakened so we can join this fight and join this army. So I am glad to be part of the spiritual gangsters that I'm a part of, and I'm very happy for some of the people that I've met along the way. Like I mentioned before, Monica from Divine Elemental. She started off as a tarot reader that just showed up on my YouTube feed randomly. And then one day I got the courage to text her for a reading, and I've had readings from her probably for like the last year, maybe once every 3 months or so. Sometimes once a month, depending on how big of a shift I'm going through. But we become good friends, and she started a soul tribe with a few other like-minded people on WhatsApp, and then she had to take a break and she deleted that WhatsApp, but some of us stayed friends on there, and we support each other, and I am loving it. I'm so grateful that I met them, because even though I was here by myself, I still had them to lean on. And I'm okay being by myself here, and like I hang out by myself all the time now, and I love it. And I've picked up new hobbies too. Like, going through this journey and trying to stay sober, you got to find hobbies. You got to find something that you like. What lights your soul on fire? Because some of you guys are like a little ember right now. You're a little ember. And my hands are like God or the universe or whatever you identify with, and you're this ember. And right now you're like about to blow out, but they're blowing life into you. And that fire's starting to grow stronger. But right now, it's like you need to find what sets your soul on fire. What is your passion? For me, like, I like creating things. And I forgot how much I liked creating things. When I was 18, I wanted to be an interior designer. And I wanted to have my own bakery. And I like baking. Like, anything that has to do with creation. I'm not the best drawer. I can draw a little bit, but I am not the best drawer. But I like sewing. I recently took up crocheting, and now I'm going to start teaching crochet classes. My first one is at a clinic with stay-at-home moms and like women of all ages that, you know, are looking to connect with other women. And obviously I'm not a mom or a mom yet, but for me it was an honor to be asked to do that, because it started off as I made my mom a hand crocheted tote bag for Mother's Day, and she was in love with it. Brought it to work, they liked it, and it just went off from there. So I'm excited for that, and I want to teach crochet. I'm a beginner, and when I started crocheting, I found out that my grandmother and my maternal grandmother and all of my maternal aunts, great grandmother, they all did that. I didn't know that. My mom told me that once I started it. And she said she always wanted to learn, but my grandma said she couldn't teach her because she was left-handed, and back then being left-handed was wrong, which, whatever, most people are delusional. We're all made the way we're supposed to be made. Anyways, but I saw some videos on YouTube that just showed up out of nowhere. And I was like, well, let me try this. Because I'm just trying to find things to keep myself occupied, keep my hands occupied, keep my mind occupied while I fight this demon. While I fight my addictions and my attachments. And I became so into that. So I've learned how I'm self-taught. I watched a few videos and I just sat here practicing. Like, I can't read the patterns. I'm not gonna say I'm not gifted in that way. I'm gifted in the sense that I can learn something, I can pick up on something instantly by watching it. I'm a visual learner. But I'm excited to teach those classes now for a beginner to teach other people who are beginners, because on the videos that I found that they say are for beginners, they move way too fast. And the handwork and the talking, it's too hard. It's too hard for some people to find out. And I failed so many times until I finally got it right. But everything that I've learned on this journey so far, I am self-taught. And I'm proud of myself, because I didn't think that I would ever get this far. I never thought that I would ever be free. And I thought that coming down here, I was going to have to fall back into the same life, just a different way. Getting back into that matrix. I broke free. I broke free of it. I haven't worked for anybody else since December 12th, 2024. 12/12/24. Look up those numbers, especially 12/12. I have not worked for anybody else but myself. And thank God that I can. Because if I didn't take that last opportunity, I'd be stuck. You know? And I'm not trying to get stuck in another 7-year cycle of bullshit and hating my job and not liking people and just being miserable. None of us signed up for that in life. We signed up to free ourselves from it, but we didn't sign up for a miserable life. I mean, life is what you make it, but it's going to get hard and uncomfortable for you when you are meant to do something else and you're ignoring that calling. They're going to keep coming at you. Whether it be people testing you left and right, things going wrong constantly fighting with certain people. Some people it was car accidents. Other people it was just like losing things. Some people it's getting stung by bees. Like, it could be anything. And if you're getting stung by beans, you're getting stung by pinto beans. If you're getting stung by bees, bees are a part of a community. Like, you're not listening to your calling, you're ignoring your calling. So you got bees flying around you. It's a reminder that you need to step into your light, basically. Like, we all have a role on this earth, and I don't mean like a physical role, but spiritually we all have a role, and if you're not stepping into that role, you're going to keep seeing reminders. And if you're getting stung by that bee, that means that you really need to get yourself back into that role, because you're going to keep getting stung. They're going to keep stinging your ass until you do it. And sometimes they used myself to sting myself, because I'm a Scorpio, okay? And, you know, there's not a lot of things on this planet that people can say to me that that affects me, because I've said it before to myself, and I've said it even worse. So don't try me. But I also know that sorry, I just got a random text message. But I also know that they were using me to bring me to the light too, because it was like how I just misspoke talking about bees and I was saying beans. I do notice that now texting, like, I will text in random words and letters like that don't make sense, but I know it's a message trying to be sent through there. Like, my mom was asking me about something. She wanted to go to Joann's and get these sewing kit boxes. And she was like, man, I wonder if they have any more. And I was trying to text a friend something, and she was asking me a question, and I accidentally sent her, they're not there anymore. Had nothing to do with what she was talking about. But that was just, you know, the universe telling you don't waste your time going over there, because they're not there anymore. It's just funny little things like that. Funny little quirks. I don't know. I feel like I need to sit on here and keep talking for whatever reason. So I'm going to keep doing it. Uh, Anyone have any fun plans for this weekend? Like for Memorial Day weekend, 3-day weekend. This weekend is going to be the 2-year anniversary of my grandfather's passing, so we might go up to Sierra Vista and go visit his gravesite. I was thinking maybe sometime this weekend I might go up to Scottsdale and check out something and go mini golfing. I don't know. Have a pineapple upside down cake. Who knows? That's just random, but who knows? Something about Scottsdale though. Something about Scottsdale keeps coming up. I'm seeing it everywhere. For whatever reason. I don't know what it is. But I know I'm being called to go there. And at first I was telling my friends that yesterday or the other day, and I was like, I have no business up there. Like, I know nobody over there. I don't work out there. I don't live out there. Like, but I don't know. There's something I need to do out there. I don't know what it is. I have had some people coming to me that are struggling right now in life with just feeling alone. So maybe that's why I'm here talking, so that you're not alone. Because I felt alone, even when I wasn't alone, like physically alone, but I still felt alone spiritually. Like I didn't feel seen at all. I felt like I was always having to fight to have my voice heard because nobody wanted to hear what I had to say, but the right people were listening, and the right people do listen. And I'm the right person, and that's why I provided an email if you want to talk. Some people are struggling with trying to free themselves from jobs they don't like, relationships, friendships, whatever, you know. And I get it. It's not easy. You can't just wake up and, you can just wake up and decide that you're done. But some people are stuck where you can't just like, all right, I'm done, and just move out that day. And I'm not telling you that you should. But think it through. Like, have a plan before you do it. But right now is the time to be making moves. Like, if you keep getting this calling to, like, go to Houston, go to Houston. You're not getting that idea in your head, and you're not seeing signs of it just because that's what you want to see. You're being told that you need to go back, or you need to go visit, or you need to move there. And if you're being tested at your job, it's time for you to start looking for something new. Or maybe there's an idea, or I don't know, maybe you want to start your own business. Maybe it's time to start doing that. I'm not saying to quit your job at all, so don't blame me if you did. I don't blame Monica for, suggesting it, because it was all my choice, and it wasn't a plan to quit it the way that I did, because I was meaning to go back, but it obviously worked out that I shouldn't have. So, but it's time for you to put you first, and it's time for you to put your ideas to work. Whatever it is. If you want to start a business, do your research and start a business. You want to start selling baked goods, then find out how to do that. Do it. Do it on the side until you can get yourself set up enough that you can quit. I know I'm working on my business. Like, I have design. I'm working on designs for some items for my business. Like, I have Divine Sunflower LLC, and that's based in Colorado, and I'm working on getting that transferred, getting it not transferred, but like adding Arizona as part of it. But then I'm also working on, I have another business that I started, which I'm going to keep quiet on for now, because I'm trying to get it off the ground. But I have so many ideas and so many like opportunities right now that I've been wearing myself thin. Like yesterday I needed to rest, and I was being a cranky crybaby. I woke up at like 1:21 in the morning, and I could not go back to sleep. So by 5 o'clock I wanted to post a video yesterday, and I couldn't think of what I wanted to talk about. So I was talking to God and pulling cards, and I kept getting like the Hanged Man, which is a card about basically pause, taking a rest. And I was getting mad about that, because I was like, everything's been saying like, now's the time, like, if you want to post that video, post the video, because now's the time, you can't fail. And I couldn't figure out what it is I want to talk about. And like today, I was just going to reintroduce myself to the channel, not keep blah blah blah, but whatever. I have a lot to say. Even if it comes in random little spurts or whatever you want to call it, I have a lot to say. Like, I'm not a big talker to people I don't know. But when you do know me, I don't shut up. And I don't apologize for it. Because a lot of people I know don't shut up either. So I know that's the I know those are my people. Because we don't just talk about this dumb stuff like, what'd you do Saturday night? Oh, I got so drunk. Like, no, we don't just talk like that anymore. Like, we actually have deep conversations about all kinds of things. A lot of it's spirituality, some of it's signs, some of it's songs, that really resonate with us at that time, channeling things. Like, some of us might pull cards and get a different meaning from them than what somebody else does. Like, a couple of my friends, Angie and Feeble, pull cards more than I do and share those on WhatsApp, which is wonderful because some days I just don't feel like it. And honestly, I haven't touched my cards from yesterday. I haven't touched my cards in a few months. And I used to mess with them all the time. Like, I was always buying cards. Like, I've got Oracle cards, Tarot cards, Universe cards, Animal cards. I was obsessed. I was going nuts. Now it's yarn. But I also had a lot of yarn because I like and love making dream catchers. I started off making dream catchers. I learned how to macrame. I sew. I haven't sewed in a long time, and I'm glad I didn't get rid of my sewing kit, but it is in storage in Colorado, which I need to when I go back to get the rest of my stuff. That is one thing that I am going to bust out, but I also know how to sew by hand. I learned how to sew by hand like years and years ago. I think it was like 7 or 8 when I learned how to sew. We used to repair our own socks and pants and shirts, like sew those things up. And then as I got older, I used to play with Barbies up until I was 14, and yes, I did. Who cares? I'm not ashamed of it. And I would make clothes out of old socks for my Barbies. And I forgot about that until recently when one of my friends posted on Facebook her daughter made her Barbie some clothes out of like paper towels and paint and glue and stuff like that. And I was like, oh shit, I used to do that with socks and old jeans and shirts and whatever else I had. Like, I used to make my Barbie's clothes out of that. And then it just reminded me of all the things that I wanted to do when I was younger. And now I'm starting to integrate those into my everyday life and in my business that I'm working on here. So I'm excited. I've got a lot of good things going my way, and it wasn't easy getting here at all. I struggled. I still struggle. But I had to keep myself in line, and I humble myself a lot. And, and that's not easy because sometimes I get, I don't think I'm better than everybody else, but, we still have moments where it's like, well, at least I'm not doing this and that, like, not, whatever. I'm not putting anybody else down to feel better about myself because I've been down there and I know how it feels. And I refuse to do it. So when I hear other people doing it, if they don't want to listen, when I'm like, hey, I just drown them out. We don't need any more negativity. We're trying to break free of it. I broke free of it. And I had a lot of negativity in my mind. And sometimes I still do, but I catch myself, and I catch myself quickly. Because there's a few times, like driving down the road, and I drive so much better than before. I used to speed. I don't know what the hell I was in a rush for, or in a hurry to get the hell, is what my grandma used to say. Because I wasn't going anywhere. Like cutting in and out of people just to catch the same damn light as everybody else. Like, why the hell are you speeding? Just to get there 30 seconds earlier? Because you're not going to get there any time before you're meant to get there. So might as well just slow down. But people here drive like maniacs. Like, I thought they were bad drivers in Colorado. How do you make a left turn from the right lane in full-on traffic? Like, these people are insane. But anyways, I just say it's because, the heat has altered a lot of things. Because I was about to say something mean, so I had to shut up. But if you know me, you know what I was going to say. Anyways, I found myself wanting to call people names. And some of the names are names I've never even heard of in my life. Like, where did they come from? Like, one of them, this guy in this big truck was like flying through the lanes, cutting people off, almost ran into a pole, but caught himself, almost hit me. And I'm like, you mother cuck. Like, what the hell is a cuck? What the hell is that? And where the hell does that come from? I've never said that. Never even heard it. This is weird, you know? But it's kind of funny. But I catch myself because I'm like, we don't do that. Like, I'm healing. I'm not completely healed. We're never completely healed. And if you're completely healed, then your time on this earth is over. Because we're all evolving, and we're always evolving. Evolves. I don't know what I just said. We're always evolving though. We're always learning. Like, there's gonna be a lesson in everything. Like, my lesson right now is to keep talking. Keep listening to my voice. Keep listening to myself talk. Keep smiling. Look, make eye contact. Look into the camera. Look me in the eyes when you speak to me. Like, and I'm working out my nervousness too. I'm fidgeting still. But the more I do this, the less nervous I get, I guess. I'm still kind of nervous, but I'm starting to calm down. I would say it's kind of nice. It's nice being on this side of the road now. Like, I built that bridge. I'm not going to burn it. We don't burn bridges here anymore unless it's with the things that no longer serve us. But I embrace my shadow side, and my shadow side is still slightly fearful of public speaking. I mean, this isn't public speaking, but it is because I'm going to post it. So it's still public speaking, and I'm not comfortable with that. And I'm also not comfortable with being on camera, but I'm facing my fears. I'm not comfortable being a ding-dong on camera, but that's who I am. I'm a ding-dong. I make jokes. Sometimes they're appropriate, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they are at the right time, sometimes they are not. But that's just me. I'm not perfect, and I'm not trying to be. And I let go of the idea of what perfection is, because who decides what's perfect? Perfection is in the eye of the beholder, you know? And a lot of my pieces that I've made, my dream catchers and like my little projects I've made crocheting, like I hold on to them because they're not perfect, but they're handmade. Nothing's gonna come out exactly the same every single time. It doesn't matter how many counts you do, how many stitches. There's always gonna be something. The hook's gonna get stuck in the string. It's gonna get caught up. You know, some of the loops on the dream catcher are gonna be a little bit fatter or wider than the other ones. You can mark it off, but it's still gonna do something. So I'm learning to accept that imperfection is beauty also. There was something else I was gonna say. I don't know what. I know I was having a whole dialogue with myself Saturday, because I was struggling with the pressure of having to find a job. And being down here has been good, and like working for myself has been good, but like I am not used to not having that like straight up stability. So working for myself, like, yeah, it gets scary sometimes, but I'm still taking that leap. It gets really scary sometimes because like I don't know what's going to happen day to day. But the universe always provides a way. All I have to do is keep showing up. That's it. Like, some days I show up and I'm put together and all glam, if you want to call this glam. Some days I don't look like I rolled out of bed, but I got on like sweatpants, a t-shirt, and tennis shoes. My hair's in a messy bun, but I still show up and I still do what I do. And I found myself lately in my little side business, I end up helping a lot of seniors, just running errands and stuff, and I don't mind it. It actually brings me joy. Brings me joy to do. And for me, it's not about like instant gratification or like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like, it makes my day to be able to help somebody else in need. It doesn't make me feel like, oh, I'm such the best person in the world, but like, it makes me smile. And I'm not looking for praise or anything from anybody, but helping people just makes I don't know, it just makes my soul feel good. It always has. But I was struggling with that because I also have the pressure from other people to find a job because they're not comfortable with well, it's not instability, but they're not comfortable with the little added pressure. But like, I had to stand my ground on that because I knew that I wasn't supposed to come down here once I finally got out of my head and I said, shut up. Sometimes I'll tell my mind to straight up shut up, because I know what I need to do and like what I'm supposed to do, but then I still have that little fear, of the what ifs, and I know that's my mind trying to stop me from going in the direction that my heart is taking me. So sometimes I just have to tell it to shut up. But then the external pressure of like, I help out financially when I can. I mean, obviously I'm not making a solid, steady paycheck, but I just know that coming down here, I wasn't supposed to just immediately jump back into that world again. Because I kept getting rejected for every little job that I applied for, and it didn't matter what it was. A lot of things I was qualified for, like I was trying to get out of restaurants. I've worked in offices before. A lot of the jobs that they were advertising for, I've verified insurance, I've worked on computers, I've answered phones, and I mean, they're basic jobs. I'm not saying like, people doing them are basic, because we all have to have a job, but like, I've done those things before. I've been in sales for 20 years. I bartended for 20 years. Like, I'm familiar with a lot of things. I'm familiar with talking to people, even though it takes me out of my comfort zone. I like to talk about things that are safe. But I'm done talking about things that are safe. But it's just getting denied for jobs like that. It was really chipping at my ego. And it was really making me feel like I wasn't good enough to do these things. But it wasn't that I wasn't good enough, it's that I wasn't meant to do it. That path wasn't for me anymore. That doorway closed. And I was applying for jobs as a backup as I, pursue the things that I want to pursue and the things that I know that I need to do and I'm being guided to do. I was applying for jobs as backups. I even applied at one of my favorite crafting stores, Michael's, as a part-time sales associate, and I got denied for that. Dollar Tree, got denied for that. That's when you know that you are on the right path and you're being redirected, because if you're constantly getting no's for something, that is not where you should be. So I'm standing my ground on that. I work a little bit harder here and there. Some days I slack, but I'm doing what I need to do. And as I do that, everything is working out. It's working out for me. And I just need people to trust that if you follow your heart and you follow your guidance, it will work out for you. It may be tough and it may be a struggle, and we're always going to be fighting because we think we know best, but we don't know best. And it's just best to let go of control. Because am I a control freak? Not really. Do I like to have control? Yes, because I do not like not knowing how things are going to turn out. I don't like not knowing things. But now I find myself telling, like when people are like, man, I hope Friday, this and that. I'm like, you know what? I'm happy with whatever the universe gives me or what they surprise me with. I'm okay with not knowing what it is, because knowing, you obsess over it too much, and especially if it's something you don't want. But I started applying for jobs, and I started getting into a role of just, I applied for everything that I was qualified for, but like I would apply for a job and be like, all right, come on, let me get that rejection so I can keep focusing on what I need to focus on. Let me keep doing what I need to do, because I know I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm going in the right direction. And I know people don't think that it's the smartest thing that I should be doing right now, especially, since I just went through all that and I'm starting over, and, you feel, and I should have a more stable income, start saving up more money. But it'll come. It'll come in due time. We're still being blessed every day, all of us, in every way. It just depends on how you see it. That's all it is. It's your mindset. How do you see it? I mean, you could be like, hey, God, let me see a pink flamingo if I should turn left. And then they show you a giant purple flamingo, and you're like, oh, that wasn't a sign, but you still got a flamingo. It just wasn't the color that you asked for. Like, if you're going to be like, oh, well, I still got a flamingo, and you go the way that, you were asking, then you park your car, you get out, and you find $100 on the ground, you followed your truth. But if you ignore that because, well, I asked for a purple flamingo, or a pink flamingo, and I got a purple one, and you do the opposite, and shit goes downhill, I mean, you got nobody to blame but yourself. Can't be mad at the universe because you didn't listen, and you didn't take the opportunity or the time to see the blessing and see that you got an immediate answer. Because it's your ego and your mind trying to take over, like, no, that's not right, but your heart said yes. Your mind said flamingo, but it said it's not pink. And I say that because I'm guilty of that, but I'm starting to see the lighter side and the bright side of things. So like, I took those rejections and I made them my power. So like, I know when I get rejected for something, that it's not something that I should be focusing on, and I redirect myself to something else. And I just do it. Like, rejection is your protection, and I hated hearing that. Hated it. So sick of hearing that. But it's true. Because if I had received the things that I had asked for when I wanted them and how I had asked for them, I would not be happy at all. And I know right before things started going downhill for me is like, the universe or God, however you decide. Sometimes I go back and forth between God and universe. The universe and God saw how sad I was, how broken I was, and they were just providing me with anything and everything that I asked for just to make me feel better, and it still wasn't enough for me. It still didn't make me happy. It made me happy in the moment to get it, but then I just wasn't happy. No matter what, I can have all the materialistic things in the world, but I was still trying to change something. And the things that I was trying to change were just stupid things, constant changing things, but not realizing that I needed to change myself and my mindset, not the things around me. Like, you can rearrange your room as many times as you want to, but until you sit down and you figure out what it is that's holding you back from whatever change that you need to make, so you feel like you need to change your outside world, you're going to continue to be miserable. Now, I found myself not rearranging things, and I found myself like being grateful for everything that I have. Receiving like gifts, money, and praise out of nowhere. When I started praising myself, actually, I was so stuck in my head and like all the things that weren't happening for me, not realizing that they were. Like, I can't find a job, I'm never going to be out on my own again, and on this and that. And it's like, I had to sit down and really think about it, and it finally hit me that you are living your dream life. I am living my dream life, literally. And I'm not trying to brag, I'm just I guess this would be my, I don't even know, my testimony. I am living my dream life. I had told the universe and God one day when I was walking up in Castlewood Canyon, um, that by a certain day in 2025, I was no longer going to be working for anybody else. I was not going to be anybody else's employee. I was not going to be a slave to the system. I was going to do my own thing. Little did I realize until a few weeks ago that I put that manifestation into effect when I quit. It took me 5 months to realize that I was living my dream life. I was blind to it because I was so focused on everything else that I gave up. I gave up my first home, my condo that I loved, but also work was getting slow. And it was starting to get scary on trying to afford it. And it was built in 1980. It was older than me. And it needed work. Like the windows needed to be replaced. The original windows, the screen door, the spring on it stopped working. So now it would just fling open. You could lock it, but it would just fling open. And it's like, yeah, screen doors are replaceable. Windows were expensive. The crawl space, I was on the garden level, so I had a crawl space underneath me, and the crawl space needed more lining underneath it, and that became my problem because it was considered part of my unit. And it was freezing in there, so like when it was like 0 degrees outside, my condo was freezing, and I had the heat up to like 80. Who the hell has their heat up to 80? And then I had a fireplace going, and I had a space heater going, and it was still cold in there. It's just things like that. Like, when it's time for you to let something go and you're holding on to it, you're just going to keep having problems. Like, the universe was trying to help me out in getting rid of it when I was getting offers to sell it, until I was like, no, I'm going to stay here. And I decided to stay here, and then they supported that too. And then I started getting into the darkness a little bit more. Like, well, I want this, and I'm not getting that. And I'm tired of being single, and I'm tired of being the single friend. I'm happy being single. I get to do whatever the hell I want to do, and I don't have to answer to anybody else. I mean, not that you really have to answer to anybody else, but I mean, it's respectful to consider the other person. But like, I am still considerate of people, but I don't have to answer to anybody else. And I'm actually happy. I like spending time by myself. I like joking around with myself. I'm hilarious. But I mean, it's just crazy, So like when it was starting to get to the point where I let the darkness take over and all my money was going to like alcohol and food that I wasn't eating because I barely ate because I was always drunk. And always shopping and having to spend and spend and spend and keep up with the Joneses. Like, all the things that I worked so hard for, I was getting ready to lose because I was ungrateful. And then I finally made the choice to step into the light, and I got rid of the burdens, had to work through the problems, and now look at me. And I mean, don't get scared to do don't get scared to do the hard stuff, because that was hard. And now looking back at it, I was like, shit. I was like, I thought everything was like so detrimental. It was so hard. But like looking back at it, it wasn't that hard. It's your mindset. Like, and there's gonna be karma and consequences for every decision that you make, no matter what. It's just how you look at it. I mean, I had things to make up for. And when karma hit, it didn't feel good, but like once you work through that, you pay back your debt. You're golden. And we're always going to be paying back debt. Like, I'm probably going to say something here where I'm going to have to get humbled later. What it is, I don't know. But I have a feeling because I just said it. But I mean, do what's right for you. Make moves. Be the change. Make the change. If you've been wanting to move out, move out. You've been wanting to move states? Move states. But have a plan. As much as you can, have a plan. Don't just decide that, okay, well, I've had it here, so I'm moving. And you just leave. You just pack a bag and leave. I mean, some people do, and they're successful, but some people don't, and you struggle and you end up going back home. But there's always going to be a choice. And for me, my choice was to sit here uncomfortably. Look, I stopped fidgeting too. But to sit here and uncomfortably talk about things that I don't even know what I'm talking. I'm just rambling. The ramblings of Alex today. I said, what's what we're going to call this video. But my karma is that I get to use my voice. And it's not a bad karma. It's more like dharma. Like, my voice has power now. I don't feel small, and I don't feel like that little kid where nobody takes you seriously, and I don't feel like that kid where people are constantly talking over you because you're so young, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know the things that I've been through. And if you watch some of my other videos, you would know. And some of that stuff, like, even though it's being open and honest, like, some of those things I still wasn't telling everything. But people don't know your story. People don't know my story fully. I do. And I know why I am here. And I know that I'm supposed to be here talking because somebody just needs somebody just to sit there and talk to and ease their mind. Who knows? Just know that they're not alone. You know, who knows? Maybe there's something in this video that you might get that I say that just is like, okay, well, I just needed this. Or, ooh, I'm going to try that. Like, who knows? I don't know. I'm just going to sit. You can just sit here in silence. Okay, that's enough silence because I got to get off this video. But I'm trying to make sure I stay inside today because it's 102 degrees outside. And I've already got like my summer tan for like months already. Like, look at this. And it's like, I got like 8 different colors on my arms. 8. And I use sunscreen, so like, this is kind of crazy. But I am just talking about nothing. I'm rambling about nothing again. So I'm going to get off of here. But thank you for sitting with me. Thank you for listening to me talk. Like I said, this channel is going to be different. I'm going to figure out what cards I want to pull, and if I want to pull some cards either later on or tomorrow. I kind of wanted to pull some cards today, but I wasn't sure which deck I wanted to pull from. If I wanted to do tarot, oracle, self-help, I haven't decided yet. But I might post another video doing so. We'll see. But until then, my friends, I hope you take care of yourself. Drink water, eat well, get rest, smile, say your affirmations, get out in the sun, get out in the moon, get into some water, get out into nature. Live your life and be grateful.